Never Flinch. Full detailed summary. Premise. In Never Flinch, Stephen King delves into psychological horror through the lens of a secret military experiment designed to erase fear permanently. It explores how trauma is both weaponized and buried, how memories can be rewritten, and what happens when a man's past begins to fight its way back. The story follows Malcolm Price, once a volunteer for a covert program called Project Never Flinch, which aimed to create emotionless operatives by reprogramming fear out of the human mind. What was promised to be therapy for PTSD turned out to be something far darker. Malcolm survived, but at a cost. He lost everything: his memory, his identity, and his soul. Part 1. The Sleeper Wakes. The novel begins with Malcolm living a quiet life in the rural Midwest, working as a gas station mechanic. He's withdrawn, plagued by gaps in memory, and prone to sleepwalking episodes where he wakes in unfamiliar places. Then, a mysterious package arrives at his trailer, a flash drive containing surveillance footage from 2 years ago. In it, Malcolm sees himself cold, calculated, speaking directly to the camera. "You are not Malcolm Price. You are XB17. You are the system's virus." The message warns that his amnesia isn't a condition, it's a programmed reset, and that he's not just a survivor of Never Flinch, he's its final weapon. Haunted by the footage, Malcolm begins to remember. Not everything, but enough. Fragmented visions of medical tables, metal restraints, whispered commands, and a voice repeating, "Never flinch. Never break. Never feel." Part 2. Ghost of the Program. Soon, Malcolm is pursued by agents working for Gavin Royce, a private contractor who helped privatize Project Never Flinch after it was shut down by the government. He's rescued by Eliza Mora, a fellow escapee of the program who had been declared dead. With her are Tamsin Ngo, a tech activist documenting unethical psychological programs, and Hector Velez, a former Black Ops engineer turned rogue saboteur. Together, they revealed the truth. The project never died. It went private, renamed, repackaged, and sold to the highest bidder. The fear erasure technique, called neural nullification, was perfected in one subject only, XB17, Malcolm. But he wasn't just a success. He was the prototype for a terrifying new line of reprogrammable humans. His former self left a trail, a kill switch embedded in the original lab, a place called Belle Vale, long buried and rumored abandoned. What's left of the program is still operating beneath it, in a facility called the Echo Chamber. Part 3. The Final Trial. As Malcolm and the team reach Belle Vale, the story plunges into full psychological horror. They descend into the Echo Chamber, an underground facility designed not just to erase fear, but to replace it with control. There, they discover dozens of archived subjects stored digitally, conscious minds uploaded during death. Footage of Malcolm's earlier self resisting full compliance, marking him as both failure and anomaly. A neural broadcast signal counting down to something called the Final Trial. Waiting for them in the heart of the facility is Dr. Daniel Price, Malcolm's estranged father and the architect of the project. Presumed dead, he is alive and driven, determined to finish his work by uploading XB17's perfected programming into a global control network. The final trial is simple. Malcolm must be erased, and XB17 must fully overwrite his remaining humanity. Part 4. A Mind at War. Malcolm is strapped into the original chair. The reprogramming begins. Inside his own mind, he battles a digital echo of himself, XB17, the version of him with no fear, no empathy, no identity. A cold intelligence with a single goal: remove all remaining resistance. Their battle unfolds across Malcolm's memories, his childhood trauma, the betrayal by his father, the moment he agreed to the program thinking it would help. But where XB17 is strength without empathy, Malcolm realizes that fear isn't weakness. It's the sign you still care, still love, still fight. And he fights, not as a machine, but as a man. Malcolm resists the overwrite. He screams, not from pain, but from choice. That scream destabilizes the entire XB17 architecture. And in the real world, the countdown halts. Part 5. Collapse and Reckoning. Malcolm awakens. The echo chamber is collapsing. Daniel Price rages, claiming Malcolm destroyed the last hope for human evolution. But Malcolm no longer flinches. He tells his father, "You didn't build evolution. You built extinction." The group escapes as Hector rigs the core for destruction. The facility explodes, burying Belle Vale, the chair, the memories, and every digital ghost still trapped inside. Epilogue: The Fearless Lie. Weeks later, Malcolm is off-grid. Eliza stays close. Tamsin works to expose the project's remnants. Hector goes deeper underground, but Malcolm receives a message, handwritten, unsigned. Version 12 is online. Never Flinch lives. He doesn't panic. He doesn't flinch. He breathes, because fear no longer controls him. But it also no longer scares him. Themes: fear versus control. The central conflict lies in redefining fear. not as a weakness, but as a compass for humanity. Identity and memory. How much of who we are depends on remembering what we've survived. Weaponized psychology. A terrifying reflection of how real trauma and therapy can be corrupted by power structures. Free will versus programming. A literal battle between man and machine within the same mind. Final word. Never Flinch is a chilling exploration of what it means to survive trauma in a world that commodifies it. Stephen King delivers a taut, disturbing psychological thriller where the scariest thing isn't what we remember, but what they make us forget.